Check out this incredible golf offer from Paddy Power. We're paying a whopping 8 places on the Players' Championship. Applies to the place part of each way bets at 1/5 of the odds. T&Cs apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Hello, I'm Ian Wilkinson and welcome to this week's Racing Post Golf Postcast as we preview what's become known as the 5th major, the Players' Championship at Sawgrass. I'm joined from his office where he's been beavering away to find the best value for this week by the Racing Post star golf tipster Steve Palmer, while my colleague Joe Champion is here on the Canary Wharf sofa and Paddy Power golf guru Ian McLaughlin is here with us from Ireland. Hello, gentlemen.
Okay.
Good. Now, we're all looking forward to this week's tournament, so without further ado, Ian, can you furnish us with the best prices to win this prestigious event?
Of course. Dustin Johnson heads our market at 7-1. Rory McIlroy in at 10-1. Jordan Spieth 14-1. Sergio Garcia 16-1. John Rahm 20-1. Ricky Fowler 20-1. Hideki Matsuyama 20-1 and 22-1 bar.
Now, Steve, everybody's waiting with bated breath to find their best bets that you can advise them for this. Where are the Palmer pounds going this week?
There's several Palmer pounds going on Hideki Matsuyama.
Now, when you say several, how many several?
Oh, a lot. I'll furnish readers on Sunday, but there might be a bit more going on today. But I just don't think he's being respected enough in the market this week. He's the world number 4, and just because he's sort of an unfashionable name, he's been chalked up at 25-1 initially. He appears to be getting back to the sort of form which saw him win 5 tournaments from October to February. You know, if you just take that in, 5 tournaments, 2 of them were on the Japanese tour, but that's a remarkable burst of trophy hunting. And an excellent final round at Augusta suggested that more glory is round the corner. He signed off with a 67 there. And last time out in the Zurich Classic, he also finished strongly. And Sawgrass, where he finished 7th last year, I think suits him down to the ground, particularly when it's playing firm and fast, which it is at the moment. It's been baking hot there the last few days. And I think control will be the key to success. And there are a few better at grinding greens and regulation in tough conditions than Matsuyama. He's got... sound course management is important at Sawgrass, and I think he's very strong in that department. He won the Memorial at a track where course management is essential, and he's twice won the Phoenix Open, which presents a similar risk-reward option similar to Sawgrass. He makes a lot of good decisions. So, to cut a long story short, I think Matsuyama will keep his ship steady and afloat this week while his rivals slowly but surely sink into the choppy Sawgrass waters.
Now, it appears that there's quite a few holes that you can pick in some of the people at the top. Dustin Johnson's obviously been playing out of his boots before his unfortunate incident at the Masters, and he was back with a bang last week when he didn't quite get over the line. But, course form suggests that he doesn't particularly like the place, and then other players have question marks about them themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Dustin Johnson has been playing so well. I mean, it was interesting last week. He revealed that he was only pain-free from the Masters back injury a few days before he teed off last week. So the injury took a lot longer to heal than he thought. But by the weekend, last weekend in the Wells Fargo, a pair of 67s for second place, making it look easy again. I mean, a phenomenal comeback performance, really. I was expecting a lot more rust in the system, and... it's only a poor Sawgrass record that puts me off Johnson. You know I'm madly in love with Dustin Johnson, and bringing up the Masters sends shudders through my spine again. But his Sawgrass record is very, very poor. But then again, he's never arrived there in better nick. So I'm not ruling him out, but I don't think there's enough juice in the price given that poor Sawgrass record.
Joe, who do you like? I mean, there are other... is it a case where Sergio Garcia's got a fantastic record at Sawgrass and is obviously buzzing after his Masters win. Who do you fancy? Who's your best bet?
Justin Thomas is my best bet. I know Steve fancies him as well. He's Florida-based. He had 3 wins earlier in the season, and then he slumped a little bit, but that was understandable. It's difficult to keep winning. Probably alongside Matsuyama, he was the form player in the world a few months ago. Some of his best showings since have been at the WGC Mexico.
T-Fin.
Yeah. I think he was tied 5th, and he had a decent Masters as well. So on the big stages, he has sort of clicked back into form. He's tied 5th in the Zurich alongside Bud Cauley most recently. And the thing I like about him is he's shown recently he's capable of converting these winning chances. His players' record, he was 24th on his first start in 2015 and 3rd last year. So, yeah, I really fancy him this week.
Yeah, John, he's certainly one of the best up and coming of the next generation. Ian, before we get on to your selection, I trust that there's been quite a lot. There tends to be quite a lot of patriotic money for Rory McIlroy for these sort of events with Paddy Power. Has that been the case this week? Even though he's not played much and he's got married and there's been various distractions.
It actually segues beautifully into my top tip because he actually is my best bet for the week.
It's like we planned that.
Exactly. We were under him at the start of the week at 9-1. I think there was 12-1 out there. We haven't seen too much patriotic cash from him. We just pushed him out to 10-1 this morning. So I can kick off with the reasoning for the top bet if you want.
Yeah, please do.
So I think he's starting to get the grips with Sawgrass now. Since 2013, his form figures are 8, 6, 8, and 12. His last 4 stroke play events are 4, 7, 4, 7. So the game is obviously in good shape. The strokes gained tee to green figures around Sawgrass since 2013 are also encouraging. In 2016 he was 2nd, 2015 he was 3rd, 2014 he was 5th, and 2013 he was 5th. So obviously it's a tee to green sort of course. You need to strike your ball very well, put it in the right positions, plot your way around the golf course. These Pete Dye design courses are kind of, you can't really bomb them into submission. You have to kind of plot. It's a second shot golf course as well, and McIlroy's ranked 6th there in strokes gained approach in the PGA Tour this season. I think it's all well now in his personal life with his wedding 3 weeks ago. I think he's sick of the missus now. He's ready to play, ready for a huge summer now of golf, leave the missus back in Florida and kick on. The last stat as well, I think his putting stats are beginning to improve marginally. I know obviously he's not the greatest putter in the world, but I think if he's in the top 50, 60 in the rankings for the week, I think he'll go very close to lifting the trophy Sunday night.
Steve likes Matsuyama, Joe's all over Justin Thomas, and you like McIlroy. I'm going to throw Jordan Spieth into the mix. I think he's got a perfect game for Sawgrass. He's a greens and regulation machine, and the advantage that he has perhaps on the other people at the top of the market is that he is such a superb putter. I think that could really come to the fore this week. Bit of a disappointing end to his Masters, but I think he can get over that, and I'd expect a bold challenge. Now, Steve,
about the new ball, Ian. So I just wanted to chat with Ian, if I may, Ian McLaughlin.
Yes, feel free.
I only discovered yesterday that McIlroy will be using a new ball now. He switched to TaylorMade, signed up for TaylorMade. So new ball for the first time.
It's a slight
week.
concern. Yeah, it's a slight concern. I think it's a similar way to the Nike. When he first signed for Nike, I think it was all in private. He was probably going, right, I'm going to use this ball going forward, and he'd be practicing relentlessly with it. So it's of slight concern, but I think man is talented.
He's not just going to rock up with a box from the club shop when he tees off on the first tee, is he? I'm sure I think he'll be well sorted.
I think there's a lot going on with McIlroy. I think there's been a lot going on as well. I want to see a few more runs before I start backing him again. But yeah, certainly wouldn't rule him out, and I hope he goes well. Now,
before we go a little bit further down the list to see if there's any outsiders, Steve, there's a few interesting course changes this week.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, the 12th hole is the centre of attention. Previously a very humdrum hole, but now a drivable par 4, which I think the vast majority of the field will go for, actually, because it's not a straightforward layup. So, yeah, an exciting 12th hole, and just a very exciting back 9. I mean, if you don't watch this tournament, then you just don't love golf, do you? I suppose it's not one for the purists, but I always enjoy settling down and watching every shot of this tournament because the course is so gripping. Yeah, never mind all this silly 6-hole match play stuff, which I hate.
Which is why you had the week off last week, and I was
exactly. I always take the week off when they do one of those nonsense tournaments. But yeah, this is a course that it's a bit of a quirky course, but it's 72-hole stroke play, and the best player will win. So yeah, I can't wait.
And it's pretty short as well by comparative standards, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, driving distance is not really an issue this week. It's all about tee to green precision. Particularly on the second shot, because the targets are so small, very small greens, water lurking everywhere. So, I think punters should be looking for players with accuracy combined with a sharp short game.
OK, let's look a little bit further down the list. I'll start with you, Joe. Have you got somebody who you fancy that perhaps not one of the more established people that lots of people will be lumping on?
Yeah, I've got a couple of bigger prices, actually. Kevin Kisner's one I like. He's been consistent this year. Like Steve said, you don't have to be a long hitter to win round Sawgrass, and so They've had the likes of Matt Kuchar, Tim Clark, they've won before. He's only ranking 151 in driving distance this season, but he's 17th in accuracy, and crucially, he's 12 in strokes gained approaching the green.
Yeah.
So the main concern with him has been that he's been in winning positions this year already and spurned opportunities, but he's 50 to 1, and I think that's a great each way price with 8 places available.
Yeah. Okay, and your other one, you said you had another one as well.
Adam Hadwin is one I like. 100 to 1 with Paddy Power. He won the Valspar, and he's in good shape off the course as well. He's just got married, so he should be.
Lots of people get married, yeah. I think it's there is a gap, isn't there? Like with the top players from the Masters to this, it does say that people do tend to have a little bit of a break, and then they sort of like come firing back for this, don't they? So
yeah, well, he of course only got into the Masters because he won the Valspar. Had to cancel his honeymoon, I think. But I think that's all good now. I think he's made up to the missus.
Yeah, he's had a very impressive start to the season, hasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that caught my eye was his form on Pete Dye courses. Actually, he was tied 39th here on his second start. That's not bad. And he, of course, shot 59 at La Quinta.
Yeah.
So in the career builder, that wasn't a flash in the pan. He was tied 6th the year before in that tournament, then came second. Tied 22 at the Heritage recently. Yeah, he's got form on those types of courses.
Yeah. Now, Steve, what about you? A little bit further down, something give people a bit more bang for their buck.
Yeah. I like that expression. Yeah, very good. Russell Henley and Luke Donald are the two at fancy prices that I can see entering the equation. Henley's been in fantastic nick. He won the Houston Open in tremendous fashion last month. He was holding everything. He's got a good record in Florida. He actually won the 2012 Jacksonville Open on the Web.com tour at the other Sawgrass course. There's another course next door to it called the Dye Valley course. The one we're on this week is the Stadium course. So he's got good vibes around here. And he won the Honda Classic at Palm Beach Gardens in 2014, a US Tour event. So he's in great form, performs well in this state, and he's posted some good numbers at the Stadium course as well without sustaining a challenge for 72 holes. He's got a 65 and a 66 to his name at the TPC. And the way he's been performing in the last few months, I think this could be the year when he strings 4 good rounds together. So Henley is of great interest at nice prices. And Donald, a bit more speculative, but he was runner-up on another Pete Dye design in the Heritage last month. Short game was on fire again. He remains world-class on and around the greens. And if he can keep his ball in play this week, then his chipping and putting will allow him to contend. His main weakness is his lack of driving distance, which, as I mentioned, is not a serious handicap at Sawgrass. And it's interesting to know that 3 of his 5 US Tour victories have come in Florida. Sawgrass runner-up in 2005. So, on value grounds, given Donald a chance at Massifo prices.
Yeah, they both look like players who could give you a great each-way run for your money if their flat stick gets hot this week. What about you, Ian? Have you got someone in mind?
Yeah, bigger price. I like South African Brandon Grace. He's been showing signs of life in the past couple of weeks. He was 11th at the Heritage of Pete Dye design, as the lads mentioned, and 10th at the Valero Texas Open. These Pete Dye design courses seem to correlate well with each other, and he's put up 2 of his biggest US performances at Pete Dye design courses, winning the 2016 Heritage at Harbour Town, and he also finished 3rd in the 2015 PGA Championship at Whistling Straits. I don't think he'll fear the increased pressure that comes with contending at such a big event. He's had 4 top 5s and major championships since the 2015 US Open. He's a brilliant scrambler who also ranks in the top 30 in strokes gained tee to green. The combination of his scrambling skills and his high-level ball strike, and I feel he can go very well at a big price.
That's great. I'm not quite on some of these are triple figures. I wouldn't go quite that far, but 35 to 1. I like Paul Casey. I think he could have an excellent. He's really coming back into form. He's played well at Augusta and was solid at Eagle Point last week, which was another course that needed a lot of thought and a lot of good course management. He's got excellent scrambling skills, and I would fancy that he could go quite well. So we're going to take a short break now, and then in a few minutes we'll be taking a look at the plethora of Paddy Power specials that are available in the tournament.
Check out this incredible golf offer from Paddy Power. We're paying a whopping 8 places on the Players' Championship. Applies to the place part of each way bets at 1/5 of the odds. T&Cs apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Welcome back. We're talking about the Players' Championship here on the Racing Post Golf Postcast. I'm Ian Wilkerson, and I'm joined by my Racing Post colleagues Steve Palmer and Joe Champion, and Paddy Power golf expert Ian McLaughlin. Now, as always, there's a host of specials on the tournament for punters to get their teeth into. So, Steve, I'll start with you. What's your pick of the bunch?
Pick of the tops?
Yes, the pick of the tops.
Top of the pops. There's a couple of tops I like the look of. Russell Knox for Top Scott as a shade of odds on. I think it's a fair bet. This is only a 2-runner market. only Martin Laird to beat. And Knox is playing on home turf. He lives in Jacksonville, well suited to the demands of Sawgrass, very accurate. And he was 11th in the Heritage last time out, which is a timely return to form because he was in a little bit of a slump. So, I like Knox. He contended for a long way last year outright before taking 9 shots at the 17th in round 3. Do you remember that one?
Oh.
He dumped 3 balls in the water. I was on him outright.
Shanked his tee shot, same.
He's a consistent ball hitter, though, isn't he? He can go well.
He's very accurate, finished 19th, so I think he should be a shorter price than he is just to beat Laird in the top Scott market. And then the other top that I like the look of is Emiliano Grillo for top South American, 11 to 10 on offer. Very much like Knox, Grillo possesses the accuracy to thrive at Sawgrass, and he's only got Jonathan Vegas and Fabian Gomez to beat in this market. Hardly intimidating opposition. Vegas is rubbish, if we're honest. Gomez has gone right off the boil. So, yeah, they're not fancy prices, but you could have Knox and Grillo in a double to beef up the odds.
Now, Joe, what are you doing with your top selections? Top American or top Europeans? What do you fancy?
I was just having a look at the top Australian market. I think Mark Leishman could be a decent bet. Jason Day and Adam Scott are obviously the big two in that market, but Day's had personal problems off the course that's been affecting him all year. We don't know how he's going to turn up. He could turn up like last year and shoot 63 and then go wire to wire. He might go the opposite way. Scott's been consistent without really challenging this season, so he's certainly not in his best form. Leishman's made 6 cuts in a row here, and I think he could be a bit of value at 6 to 1. Yeah,
and he does perform. He's performed well in big tournaments in the recent past, hasn't he? He's had a couple of good Masters and was unlucky at the Open at St Andrews.
Yeah, I think he can certainly turn up in these sorts of tournaments. He seems to thrive well under the pressure. I just look back to that incredible eagle putt. Where was it? Just before the Arnold Palmer?
Bay Hill.
Yeah, he can certainly do it. He's definitely a play behind those two. Cameron Smith's another potential fly in the ointment, but yeah,
a little bit early for him, perhaps. He looks one for the future, doesn't he? Ian, what about you? You got a good top selection for us?
I've got 2 actually. I've got one in the very competitive top US player market. It's Daniel Berger. He was tied 9th last year in his only second appearance at Sawgrass. He's a Floridian native. He's mentioned in previous interviews that this is one of his favourite courses on tour, and also that he practices here regularly, which is always a positive. He ranks in the top 30 in strokes gained putting. His top 5 in the Shell Houston Open at the beginning of April, showing the game is in good shape. He ranks 2nd in the field there in strokes gained tee to green, ranked in the top 12 in strokes gained around the green. And with doubts over the likes of Dustin Johnson, Jordan Spieth, and the suitability of the course for them, I think he can go well at 33 to 1.
Yeah, and the other one?
The other one is in the top Swedish market, and the player there is Jonas Blixt. He won the team event with Cameron Smith in New Orleans. Again, that's another Pete Dye designed course. There's a lot of Pete Dye being mentioned here. Shout out to Pete Dye. Finished 19th last year. He was actually minus 10 through 36 holes, but he kind of got caught out with the hard and fast conditions that were the Saturday. That was a bloodbath for many players in the field that day, and he finished 74, 75. With doubts over Stenson and his current form, like he's missed his last 4 cuts, I think he's very vulnerable at odds on. And at around 6 to 1, I'd happily take a try with Jonas Blixt.
That's great. My top bet would be Matt Kuchar each way in the top American. I think this is the best way to back Kuchar. He performs consistently well in these tournaments without ever looking like really winning them. And I think if he gets his customary sort of top 12, top 15 finish, then with 5 places at 20 to 1, I think that could really offer some value. He's won this in 2012. And he was 3rd last year. He's a consistent performer at this sort of level, and I think that's a decent bet as well. Now, what are our best bets elsewhere? Without giving away your nap that we'll talk about after the next break, is there any other bet that you'd fancy Joe to get stuck into?
I feel a bit mean with this one, but Danny Willett's 4 to 6 to miss the cut, and that looks like a fair enough price to me. He's missed 2 cuts already and 2 starts at Sawgrass. In PGA Tour events this year with cut marks, Honda, the Masters, and the Heritage, he's missed all of them. In his other 2 PGA Tour events, the 2 WGC events, he's come 69th of 77 and 75th out of 77. It'd be nice to see him regain some form. He's also split with his caddy as well. That's never ideal, is it?
That sounds like
the caddy, didn't he? The caddy walked off.
Which is
the abuse.
Yeah, a bit of a shame, really, isn't it? It's a bit like Ranieri leaving Leicester. You know, you'd think it would be a job for life after you've won the Masters together, but it just goes to show what results-orientated business it is. But there you go. So you're having Willett to miss the cut then, Joe. What about you, Steve?
Are we having a bash at first round leader?
Yeah, we like to have a bash at first round leader, don't we?
And
we're still licking our wounds after our favourite first round leader player, Charlie Hoffman. We abandoned him at Augusta in April, and then he hosed up. So
I think Bruce gave him a mention, didn't he? I think Bruce was on.
Yeah, we did. I wrote him off. So that was great. Steve,
one of the greatest rounds in major history.
Indeed.
No, I think the first round leader market quite interesting this week because an early start seems almost certain to lead at the end of the first day at Sawgrass. The course is already baked firm and will only get faster as the day wears on. There's relentless sunshine forecast, so I think punters can concentrate on the early starters who will get the best of the conditions. And I think you should consider Matsuyama, who's he's out at 8:27 a.m. local time from the 10th tee, which is it's a beautiful tee time. He can get the 17th hole out of the way while it's still relatively calm and quiet. And the market leaders in that market are all out in the afternoon. Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy and Justin Thomas, they're all playing together actually in one of the later three balls. So I'd say, concentrate on the morning wave and consider Matsuyama. I think 45-1 in places.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it? I'll if you excuse me, and I'll just jump in because mine's on the same market. I'm going to stick with my original selection from Augusta and go for the ever-improving Pat Perez. At 66-1, I think it's each way decent each way value. He's scored in the 60s in 8 of his last 13 starts, and he should be galvanised by his performance last week when he just missed out on the playoff. And I think that he's brimming with confidence, and I would anticipate that he could make another fast start. So I'll be going for him. What about you, Ian? And any other bets?
I'm going to go back to miss the cut market, and it's Patrick Reed at around the 9-4 mark if you go shopping for that. He's had 3 starts here at Sawgrass, and it's miscut 24 to miscut. He did contend for a long way last week at the Wells Fargo, but he drove the ball absolutely terribly. He ranked 123rd out of the field in strokes gained off the tee. He can't drive the ball that poorly around here and figure at all, in my opinion. I know he's a fantastic scrambler and a great putter, but the course is a much different beast if you're putting yourself in tough spots off the tee consistently. And he's one I'm really think is going to struggle big time. I'll take him on any market I can find him in, really. Tournament match betting, 3 balls, everything. I think he's going to really struggle this week. Yeah, being a good scrambler is going to be good for you, but if you're missing the greens on a consistent basis all the time, it puts so much pressure on it, doesn't it? So, and he was world-class scrambling last week. I thought it was Jesus himself was trying to get up and down some positions he was getting up and down from. So to replicate that a second week in a row, I think it's going to be tough for him. I think mentally as well, it's a mental strain having to be getting up and down and scrambling everywhere you go. It just takes its toll. It caught out with him in the end last week, didn't it? Exactly. Okay, then. So there's plenty of bets there to get stuck into with the specials. We're off for another break now, and when we come back, the lads will give us their best bet for the tournament.
Check out this incredible golf offer from Paddy Power. We're paying a whopping 8 places on the Players' Championship. Applies to the place part of each way bets at 1/5 of the odds. T&Cs apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Welcome back to the Racing Post Golf Postcast. I'm Ian Wilkerson, and sharing their views on this week's Players' Championship are my Racing Post colleagues Steve Palmer and Joe Champion, and Paddy Power's Ian McLaughlin. So now it's time for your best bets of the week. This will not be beaten. Okay then, Mr. Palmer, I'm starting with you.
I think the best bet in any market is Matsuyama for a top 20 finish. I think high rollers can consider that at 11-8. Low rollers may want something more ambitious, and I did notice this morning that the Matsuyama and Justin Thomas outright dual forecast is 450-1, so that will not be beaten.
Oh, that would be lovely. That'd buy a few ice creams, wouldn't it?
Yeah, certainly. But buy a few bottles of Beckenase at the moment. The pollen count is so high down here, I can hardly
really? Oh.
Yeah.
The travails of living in the country by the coast, Stephen.
This is it.
Yeah, it's more the smog we have a problem up here on the 23rd floor. Just managing to look out the window. But there we go, 450-1, lovely. Joe, what's your best bet?
I've already waxed lyrical about Kevin Kisner. I think Paddy Power's top 40 market's a good one. He's 10-11 in that. if you want a bit more bang for your buck, top 20, 9-4.
Lovely. So Joe's all over Kevin Kisner. And Ian, what about you?
It's a top 20 finish market, and it's Cameron Smith. He's lives local in Pontevedra Beach, practices here regularly. I think he's a potential star in the making. As you said, it could come a bit too soon for him to be lifting the trophy Sunday night, but I think he'll be a player who'll be in the mix at the weekend, and he'll just hang around the leaderboard. He's such a good ball striker. He's a great scrambler. I think he'll just hang tight, and I think at around 9-2 mark, I think the top 20 is a bit of value there as well.
Right, okay, so it's down to me then. One player I really like this week is Francesco Molinari, so I'm quite impressed to support him in plenty of markets. He's been going really well in the tournament, and he's finished only once outside the top 25 when he's made the cut this year. He's got some decent course form, 6th in 2014, 7th last year. This is right up his street. Someone who can hit it straight, not particularly far, but then he can still have a good week. I think he's a good...
Where can you get the bang for your buck, Wilco?
Well, I wouldn't put anybody off supporting him at 45-1. I think he's a good each way price, but 4-1 for a top 10 finish for me. So
that's enough banging.
So that's enough bang for me anyway. So I'll just run through those again. So Steve's 2 best bets, we'll give him 2 because he's a nice bloke like that. He's got Matsuyama to finish in the top 20, and the Matsuyama Justin Thomas dual forecast at 450-1. Ian goes for Cameron Smith at the top 20, and Joe's got Kevin Kisner to finish in the top 40, and I'll have Francesco Molinari to finish it in the top 10 at 4-1. That's it. That's all we've got time for. Thanks ever so much, gentlemen. Thanks very much for joining us, and we wish you all the best for your punting this week. Don't forget the football postcast tomorrow. I'll be back on the football postcast tomorrow as the Premiership season, Premier League season storms to its climax.
Master of eating.
Oh, bless you. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us again, and bye for now.
Check out this incredible golf offer from Paddy Power. We're paying a whopping 8 places on the Players' Championship. Applies to the place part of each way bets at 1/5 of the odds. T&Cs apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.